Hot calling the kettle black. Huh.
Whoa. That was some tea. That was shade.
All right, let's dive into the sizzling saga of 50 Cent and Vivica A. Fox, a feud that's been simmering for years, only to boil over into a full-on spectacle recently. This isn't just your average celebrity spat, it's a roller coaster of shade, accusations, and personal jabs that's got everyone grabbing their popcorn. What started as subtle digs and pointed comments has escalated into a no-holds-barred war of words, and it's not showing signs of cooling off anytime soon. So let's break it down, piece by juicy piece, and figure out how we got here. And why it's blowing up now. Picture this. 50 Cent, the rap mogul known for his sharp tongue and unapologetic persona, and Vivica A. Fox, the actress with a flair for drama, once shared what seemed like a genuine romance. They dated back in the early 2000s, and for a while, it looked like they might be the real deal. Fast forward to today, and that love story has morphed into something else entirely. A public feud that's as messy as it is entertaining. For years, they've been tossing little barbs at each other, keeping things relatively civil, or at least contained. But all that changed when Vivica appeared on Andy Cohen's late-night talk show, Watch What Happens Live, and dropped a bombshell that lit the fuse. During the interview, Cohen brought up some old comments 50 Cent had made about the TV show, Empire. 50 had suggested the show's declining viewership was tied to certain storylines, comments that some interpreted as veiled shots at the inclusion of gay characters. Cohen, ever the instigator, pressed Vivica on whether she was hinting at something deeper about her ex's personal life. She didn't say much verbally, but her response, a dramatic hair flip, spoke volumes. It was the kind of nonverbal cue that screams, read between the lines. Even fellow guest Candy Burris couldn't hide her shock, her face betraying the surprise of the moment. Cohen, picking up the vibe, mused aloud that maybe 50's habit of throwing shade at others online was a way to deflect from something he wasn't ready to confront himself. Vivica didn't stop there, though. She sprinkled in some nostalgia, reminiscing about the good times she and 50 shared during their relationship. "We had a great time," she said, her tone warm, until she added a cryptic twist. "He's just got something that's not quite clear." That little nugget hung in the air like a cliffhanger, leaving everyone wondering what exactly she meant. Was she hinting at doubts she'd had all along? Something she'd sensed during their time together? The ambiguity only fueled the fire. Then came the kicker. Vivica brought up a 2010 XXL magazine cover featuring 50 Cent and Soulja Boy, a photo shoot that's been debated for years. In the image, 50's standing close to Soulja Boy, sporting what some have called a provocative pose. Vivica didn't mince words, saying 50 looked like a booty snatcher on that cover. The implication was unmistakable, and the internet erupted. Was she suggesting 50's orientation wasn't what he'd always projected? The comment was bold, unprovoked, and the spark that turned this simmering tension into an all-out blaze. Now, let's be clear, 50 Cent isn't one to let a jab slide. Known for his savage clapbacks, he came out swinging. This wasn't a gentle nudge back, it was a full-on counterattack. He took to social media, firing off posts that accused Vivica of everything from botched cosmetic surgery to desperation. He zeroed in on her appearance, specifically alleging she'd gotten a Brazilian butt lift, BBL, that didn't go so well. His posts were brutal, complete with unflattering photos and captions mocking what he called obvious signs of fake enhancements. "Horribly done procedure," he wrote, encouraging his followers to pile on. It was a low blow, shifting the focus from her comments to her body. And it didn't take long for the feud to get personal, really personal. But why now? Why did this explode when it did? The timing traces back to Vivica's WWHL appearance. Her unprompted digs at 50's private life were like tossing a match into dry grass. Had she not gone there, it's likely 50 wouldn't have clapped back so hard. Sure, they've traded shade before, but this felt different. More raw, more unrestrained. And it wasn't just 50 who jumped in. Soulja Boy, dragged into the mess by Vivica's magazine cover comment, unleashed his own attack. He posted a mocking photo of Vivica with a caption that read like a fake hotline ad, "Hit up this cougar. She's single and ready to mingle. 1-800. Grady desperate for attention extension. I'm washed up." Harsh? Absolutely. Over the top? Definitely. Especially since Vivica hadn't even named him directly. His reaction raised eyebrows, with some wondering why he felt so compelled to defend himself when he wasn't the main target. The feud took another turn when Vivica stepped out at a promotional event for her hair collection in Houston. She rolled up in style, red carpet, balloon arch, pyrotechnics, even a throne, clearly aiming to make a statement. But what stole? The show wasn't her products or the theatrics. It was her noticeably curvier figure. Social media lit up with speculation about a BBL, with comments ranging from Vivica Fox got a BBL at 60 to society made her feel this was necessary. Whether it was surgery or just a good outfit, 50 pounced on it. He doubled down on his attacks, posting more photos and ridiculing her fake enhancements. It was a calculated move to humiliate her, as if tearing down her appearance would somehow discredit her earlier claims. This isn't their first rodeo either. These two have a history of clashing online, but this round feels uglier. Back in Nitas on tour, the day their breakup was messy enough. Vivica once said 50 wanted to propose, even filling her house with flowers for her birthday. But the relationship went public too fast, and 50 later accused her of exploiting him for publicity. She called it ghetto love, his way of processing the split. That old wound seems to still sting, and Vivica's recent comments ripped it wide open. 50's response? He hinted at private moments from their past, suggesting her insinuations came from intimate experiences they'd shared. He even threw in a 50 Shades of Grey reference, implying she'd seen a side of him she couldn't unsee. It was a wild escalation, airing dirty laundry for the world to gawk at. Meanwhile, Soulja Boy and 50 tried to set the record straight about that XXL cover. Soulja called 50 a mentor, saying, "If there wasn't no 50 Cent, there'd be no Soulja. Boy." 50 returned the love, saying Soulja's the artist he'd emulate if he had to pick. It was a united front against Vivica's narrative, but their aggressive pushback made some wonder if they were protesting too much. Adding fuel to the fire, artist Jaguar Wright jumped in with her own claims, alleging 50 and Soulja Boy had a secret relationship, complete with supposed footage she'd seen. She doubled down, accusing 50 of projecting by constantly questioning other celebs' sexuality, like P. Diddy and Jay-Z, while dodging his own. Her allegations, while unproven, kept the pot stirring. So where does this leave us? The public's torn. Vivica's catching flack for what some see as attention-grabbing antics. Her over-the-top event, her BBL rumors, her digs at an ex from 20 years ago. At 60, some critics say she's chasing youth or relevance, but 50's not exactly winning. Hearts either. His vicious attacks on her looks and his defensive vibe when his own life's questioned don't scream confidence. He's built a career on being untouchable. Yet Vivica's comments clearly hit a nerve. His pattern of calling out others, Diddy in pink outfits, Jay-Z in suggestive collages, while flipping out when the spotlight turns on him has people raising eyebrows. What's the truth? Who knows? Vivica's got insider perspective from their romance, which she still calls the love of her life. That gives her words weight, whether they're fact or spite. 50's reaction, deflection, aggression, personal insults suggest he's rattled, not just annoyed. Jaguar's wild claims only muddy the waters further. This feud's less about who's right and more about what it reveals. Vivica's need. For the spotlight, 50's fragile armor. It's a train wreck you can't look away from. A clash of egos spilling insecurities all over social media. So, what's your take? Is Vivica stirring the pot, or did she hit on something real? Is 50 deflecting, or just fed up? The drama's far from over, and the next chapter is bound to be just as juicy.